Welcome to Stevie's Kitchen. Today, I got a sourdough apple crisp for you. So let's get started on the filling for this apple crisp. I'm gonna get 4 tablespoons of butter into our pan. I got half a cup of white sugar, full cup of brown sugar. Why when I say that, all I can think is, y'all seen All About the Benjamins? Martin Lawrence walking? No, it's Bad Boys. Why did I say All About the Benjamins? Martin and Will walking into the house. We just wanted to know if we could borrow a cup of brown sugar. Then I got a tablespoon of vanilla I just put in. And we're just gonna kind of let this all melt together a little bit. And once this melts down, we're gonna add in our apples. So now that we got this melting down a little bit, we got 4 apples here. We're gonna toss in. Ooh, maybe I should have got a bigger pot. So we're gonna let all this cook down about 5-6 minutes. Let these apples soften a little bit. So as I'm letting these apples cook, I was having a conversation with one of my clients the other day, and where he was asking me about some of my funnier recruiting stories. And I was telling him, so whenever I was coming out, Charlie Wise had just taken the job at Notre Dame. And me being from Indiana, you know, whenever you're, a lot of states, they always try to recruit the in-state talent first, is what they like to say. So I get a call from my high school head coach, because it's only my junior year. And at that time, coaches weren't allowed to make direct contact with the players during that time. I'm pretty sure there's still some variation of that rule, who knows. But, so I get a call that Charlie Wise is coming to the school, but he can't talk to me. But instead what we do is, he says what time he's going to be at the school. So just in case I happen to be there. So I just happened to be there at the same time that Coach Wise flew in. He meets my coach in the parking lot. He gets out his car. Him and my coach meet. I stand 3 feet away. He just looks at my coach the whole time, and he's just like, hey, you know, we have a very high interest in Stevie. We hope that he comes to Notre Dame. We would love him to come here. He was the first stop on our, we're trying to get all the best talent here in the state of Indiana. We're recruiting home first. He was our first stop. We're coming here. We see him playing safety at the school next year. We see him fitting in at our defense this way. You know, they're having a full-fledged conversation, talking all about me, and I'm standing 3 feet away. And it's just like I'm telling my client this story, and he's just looking at me like, wow. And it just kind of like made me laugh, because, you know, it's things like that you just kind of forget about as you get older and things like that. Needless to say, I ended up committing to Michigan. And then the next year, Notre Dame and Michigan play. I go to the Michigan-Notre Dame game, and Notre Dame beats Michigan in the Big House in Charlie Wise's first year. So as I'm sitting in the tunnel at the Michigan game waiting for everybody to come up, Charlie Wise walks up the tunnel. He sees me standing right there, walks up to me, just says, hey, Stevie, shakes my hand. I was just kind of had to laugh, but you know, it's good old recruiting days. They're fun. They were fun. Hopefully my son makes it to that level in some form or fashion. Doesn't have to be football, but he gets to experience it, and then I get to experience it from the other shoe, just watching him enjoy it, watching him take it all in, and seeing what he wants to do, what school he wants to go to. Of course, you know I have my preference. He's 3. He already knows to sing the full fight song. I don't think he knows what Go Blue means, but he sings it. He sings it loud. But we'll see. We'll see when the time comes. No rush. No pressure, I should say. All right, as you can tell, these apples are already starting to soften down a little bit. We're gonna let them go for another 2-3 more minutes before we start adding any of our seasoning to it. Just want to get them all coated and softened. So now that we got these apples a little bit softened, I'm just gonna do a little pinch of salt. Salt's just gonna help bring out the flavor. I have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon going in. Then I'm gonna put in a teaspoon of apple pie seasoning. Get another little mix on this. So in here I got a 1/3 cup of cold water and 3 teaspoons of cornstarch. I'm just trying to get a whisk in right now because I don't want it to be clumpy. So I'm just pouring this in so it can act as a slurry. It's just gonna tighten up this whole mixture so you get that nice, apple pie texture. Now that this is all poured in, just gonna let this sit and come to a nice simmer so it all tightens up. So now that it is done, I'm just gonna transfer it to my casserole dish. So you can tell it's that nice thick syrupy apple pie that we all know and love. So while I let this kind of cool here for a second, we're gonna get started on this crumb topping. Now with this sourdough topping, I have a 1/2 cup of AP flour going in. I'm gonna do a full cup of oats. Do a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Got 2 tablespoons of butter. And now a 1/2 scoop or a 1/2 cup of sourdough. Get all this in here. Then we just want to basically just mix this all together until you get nice little crumbles. And then we'll just put this on top of our apple crisp. So, I'm also going to add in a teaspoon of cinnamon, teaspoon of apple pie flavoring, and a little pinch of salt. Back to mixing. If you want to, you can get in here with your hands. Sometimes I like to, just because then I can really smash that room temp butter and incorporate it with everything. It's kind of the key. You want that butter and that sourdough to kind of act as glue to get these little crumbles together. Now you got all this mixed together. Add this to the top, and then we'll pop it in the oven. So now we got our mixture back here. And like I said, just gonna come out here and just put it over however you like. into the oven, 350, 20, 25 minutes. Now that we got our apple crisp out the oven, let me go ahead and get me a little section. It's way too much, but whatever. Normally I would top this with a scoop of ice cream, but I'm just gonna get it here for the taste test for you right now. Make sure I get a little bit of everything. Got one of those nice apples. Got one of those nice apples, a little bit of the crisp. That crisp on top has the right amount of crunch and chew. Those apples, they're not overly sweet. This whole dish just works perfectly together. You got the nice tender apple, cinnamon, apple pie flavoring. Great summer night dessert.